Hey guys, it's Will here and welcome back to another Conversion Corner. It feels like it's been a while since I've done one of these, so as a special treat I've got a double one for you today. Two different characters I've converted up here for my orcs. So I've got my Bigmek on a bike and I've got my Warboss on a bike. Both of them obviously index options, but really potentially very strong in the current meta, despite the fact they're not in the codex per se. And obviously both bike-mounted characters, so they fit perfectly with my Evil Sunz army. So yeah, I'm going to have a quick look at both of them. So start off with my Bigmek. Obviously this guy was something I really wanted with the Kustom Force Field. If you saw, oh, camera's wobbling there, game I played against Jason's Imperial Guard a little while back, my Bigmek with the Kustom Force Field couldn't keep up with the rest of my force. So I've got a bike-mounted version, so he will be able to keep up. So this is your standard Orc Warbike kit as the base, and I haven't actually made a huge amount of changes. The main thing is obviously it's the knob body on there, which comes on the kit, but then the head is actually from the Mega Knobs kit. It's the Bigmek head from the Mega Knobs, if I remember rightly. So that immediately identifies him as a mech. And then the arm here, this is actually a knob chopper arm, but I've taken the chopper handle off and replaced it with this biker component here. So that would normally sit in the opposite hand, but I just thought, you know, like an old spare crankshaft or gearbox would probably make a more appropriate weapon for a mech than just a straight up chopper. You know, that's what he's going to be hitting you with. And then the big feature on the back here is the Kustom Force Field. So this again is from the Mega Knobs kit, and I've just cut some of the extra parts off the back of the bike here to get that to sit flush. So that's pretty much a stock as is, and then just had to modify the exhaust output a little bit to fit that on, because obviously the exhaust tailpipe should sit here. This is actually from the truck kit, so I had some spare truck parts. I've built about 6 of the things, so I've got a bucket load of spare parts. That I've just stuck that to the exhaust there, so his exhaust pipe comes out upwards, and then he's got a second. I like to think of this as like the boosters for the exhaust, like a press this to go faster button, which as an Evil Sun he presses all the time, poking out the back there. So fairly straightforward conversion with this one, nothing too fancy, but very effective to represent what I needed in my army. Now the second and possibly more exciting one is the Warboss on a bike. Now this guy is one of the best units in the codex right now when equipped with the Killa Klaw, which is naturally what we're going to go for here. So this one was a bit trickier because I really needed to have him as a true Warboss and not just a big knob on a bike. So the body, how are we going to get a Warboss body on a bike? Well, I've used the Assault on Black Reach Warboss, so you've got the plastic body there, and the whole claw arm, and even this back banner is all part of that. I had a spare one knocking around. And what I've done is I've cut him off at the waist and then had to do a lot of trimming with a hobby knife to try and fit that on. But we got there. He was, when I first stuck him on, he was kind of a bit too hunched over, and his head wouldn't fit on in front of the handlebars, so I've had to tilt him back a bit, which then left him with quite a paunch, which I had to trim down, but we got there. And I think I pinned it in place to stop it falling off, because it wasn't a perfect fit, but you know, it's okay. I've where the join wasn't perfect, if you see in there, I've put like a metal shoulder pad over there to represent like armour across that part of him, which covers up the join nicely. For the head, this is from an old metal 3rd edition Warboss, the one that used to come with the attack squig. So got that head on there in place of the head there, mainly because I'd used the head from this model for another conversion somewhere. So yeah, he's got, but that makes him stand out with his enormous great horns there. And also part of the claw was missing when I got this second-hand piece, which gave me an opportunity to do a bit of conversion work. So I've added this buzzsaw type component. This is actually a head from one of the big choppers from the knob sprue, and that is fitted in there. And then got this little exhaust pipe here, because, you know, your melee weapon needs an exhaust pipe apparently. It's just very orky to have a melee weapon so powerful it needs its own exhaust output. and that's fitted on quite nicely to make this claw stroke buzzsaw combo. As for mounting him on here, obviously this arm should have been a big shooter on the original model, but didn't need that, and it wasn't really going to fit with the handlebar. So what I've done is the knob arm didn't fit the sort of arm that you could have used to join that on. So instead I've used an arm, again from the knobs box set, one of the big chopper arms, trimmed away the majority of the weapon, just left a little bit of the weapon haft here, and through a little bit of careful manoeuvring joined it on to the end of the handlebar here, so it actually fits quite nicely there. That could have it was a real fiddle. That was probably the hardest part of the model to do, because I didn't just want to have him sitting on the bike both hands off the handlebars, because although that's rather orky, it looks somewhat unbalanced, and so I wanted to make him look like he was really riding the bike rather than just sitting on it. So yeah, we did that. Other than that, a few more subtle changes. The front end here, this is a spare from the Ork Flyer kit, and what I've done is I've just trimmed off a few parts of the front under here, so that sits flush on there, gives him a more sort of almost speed, like a MotoGP bike. I'm not quite sure that's the right, you know, it's not really, it's more of a low rider, but this kind of more protective front just makes it a bit different. And then these horns, oh, he's falling over again. These horns here are spare parts from the biker kit as well. I think they're actually meant to be like wheel blades, but yeah, stuck them on there. Got the little attack swig on the shoulder. It's a free upgrade, so I wanted to get it on there somewhere, so I've put that on there. That again is from the knobs kit, just cut down and balanced on a shoulder pad. And at the back, I kept the exhaust more standard than the Mech's one, so I've got the standard exhaust there. But then this here, I think is from the Battle Wagon, possibly, or the truck, as a spare part for my big box to give him kind of an extra exhaust pipe there, because extra exhaust pipes make you go faster, obviously. And finally, I've given him double guns. This doesn't have any effect in-game. I just think it makes him look more like the boss. You know, he's got the most DACA, even though it doesn't actually do anything. It, you know, just it looks cool, and that's what matters to him. So yeah, nice couple of characters from Evil Sunz there. Bigmek was very easy to do. Warboss was a little bit more complicated, but we got there in the end, and I'm really pleased with them. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and hopefully you'll be seeing a lot more orcs on this channel very soon. Bye.